Stories are illuminating and yet shrouded. My name is Osadumebi, and every week I will tell you a short story written by a Nigerian writer or author. That's the long and short of it. So without much ado, this week's story is by Precious Ahams, and it's titled, We Sell Lights Here. The streets had been weeping for days, and Chima was tired of it. She was tired of the ugly rubber slippers she had to wear in place of her shoes. She was tired of the mud getting in between her toes. She was tired of having to curse everyone who left their trash by the side of the road for the rain to do their dirty work. She was incredibly tired of the shower. Every evening on her way home, a new set of complaints played in her head, like a daily set playlist. Today, it was the rain and all its woes, and it played at the loudest volume. Chima was a career woman, rapidly pushing towards her late 40s. She owned cars but hated to drive, so every evening she ordered an Uber from work and dropped off a few houses from hers. Strange. Why not just get a driver? Why not let the Uber drop her off at her gate? Even I can't answer that because she isn't ready to. Today, like every other day, she walked the short distance home, steadily grumbling about the rain. She was just about to take the bend towards her house when a bright light caught her eyes. If you haven't guessed it yet, a complaint about how bright the light was loaded in her lips, ready to shoot on target. The bullet, however, was never fired. The light that attracted her attention was a signboard for the new shop that sold bulbs and lamps. It read, "We sell lights here." In my opinion, and I'm sure everyone else's, there was nothing phenomenal about the sign. In fact, it was rather uncreative. However, for Chima, it meant so much more. Standing on the road, staring at the sign, she thought to herself, I could really use some light. With that, her story became more transparent, and I could see what Chima was seeing. Her marriage had become grey and dull, so much so that her husband sought entertainment from his ever-changing secretaries. She could use some light to illuminate that, to drive away the shadows cast on her self-confidence whenever she found another grey hair, another wrinkle, or whenever her husband told her she was far too old to wear that dress. She could use some light to guide her children home. Children so lost in the world that a phone call was rarer than a blue moon. She could use some light to remind said children that she was once there, and that their eyes had always shined when she was around, and that she was so much more than another earthly responsibility. She could use some light on herself, light to ignite past dreams which were still within reach, if only she would stretch, light to fire up youthful gusto that besides the term did not belong to youths alone. Most importantly, she could use some light in her life to replace the dead ones in her purpose and zeal to live. Light to attract moths of adventure, so the most eventful thing in her life would not be miserable evening walks back from work. Light to give her courage to say what weighed her heart down rather than complain about everything else. Unfortunately, as she continued the short journey to her house, she muttered with a frown, "They do not sell those kinds of lights there, Joe." Precious Ahams is a Nigerian copywriter, creative writer, and content strategist with a deep love for words that move people. Whether crafting campaigns, telling short stories that tug at the heart, or building marketing plans that connect deeply with audiences, her work always centers on clarity, empathy, and impact. You can read more of her stories on Instagram at Ahams_Precious. And to work with Precious, connect with her on her Instagram business account at the.copypa. Details and links will be in the episode description. If you've got a story you would like to be featured on this podcast, or a published book you want to make into an audiobook, I would love to hear from you. Send an email to info@osadumebi.com or send me a message at Osadumebi on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or X. I look forward to collaborating with you. And if you've enjoyed this week's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with that one person you know will enjoy listening. Tell them that stories are a good escape for a few minutes each week.